Just as winter seemed to be easing, and many across Europe were beginning to look forward to the first hints of spring, an unexpected twist in the weather story has arrived. The days had started to grow a little longer, and the chill in the air was slowly giving way to milder breezes. People were venturing outside more, enjoying the brief respite from the harshest cold, and perhaps even daring to hope that the worst of winter was behind them. But now, Europe is facing a dramatic atmospheric shift that has caught many by surprise. Weather experts are calling it one of the most significant changes of the season, and it's set to impact millions of people from the Atlantic coast to the far reaches of Eastern Europe. The first week of February 2026 brought calm to some, with tranquil mornings and gentle frosts painting the landscape. In many towns and villages, life seemed to settle into a peaceful winter rhythm, with families gathering indoors and communities enjoying the quiet beauty of the season. But high above the Arctic, a brewing event has been quietly gaining strength. Now this powerful system is set to reshape our weather for weeks ahead, sending shockwaves through the atmosphere and altering the forecast in ways few had anticipated. This isn't a typical cold snap, it's a major atmospheric upheaval. Meteorologists warn that we're about to see a dramatic return of heavy snow, biting cold, and disruptive rain across the continent. Cities that had just begun to thaw may soon find themselves blanketed in white once again, while others brace for relentless downpours and gusty winds. A sudden stratospheric change over the North Pole is sending ripples through the entire northern hemisphere. This shift is ending the recent mild spells and plunging Europe back into deep winter. The polar vortex, a swirling mass of cold air, is breaking apart and sending frigid Arctic air southward, catching many off guard and forcing a rapid change in daily routines. Forecasters are racing to update their models as a surge of Arctic air descends. The impact will be felt by everyone, from farmers worried about their crops, to commuters facing treacherous roads, to families preparing for power outages and school closures. Emergency services are on high alert, and local governments are urging residents to stay informed and take precautions. Northern and eastern regions are bracing for significant snowfall and a sharp drop in temperatures. In some areas, blizzard conditions could make travel nearly impossible, and communities are preparing for the possibility of being snowed in. Residents are stocking up on essentials, and snowplows are already working overtime to keep roads clear. Meanwhile, the south faces a different challenge: intense rainfall and the risk of flooding. Rivers are rising, and low-lying neighborhoods are on alert as meteorologists warn of potential flash floods and landslides. The Mediterranean coast, in particular, is expected to see some of the heaviest rain in years, disrupting travel and daily life. So, what does all this mean for you? Over the next few weeks, expect rapidly changing conditions, with the potential for severe weather events in many regions. Whether you're planning a trip, tending to your home, or simply trying to get through your daily routine, it's more important than ever to stay updated on the latest forecasts. Let's break down what's happening and what it means for you, so you can be prepared for whatever this surprising turn in Europe's weather may bring. To truly grasp the scale of this atmospheric upheaval, we need to turn our attention skyward, to the very top of our planet. Here, swirling high above the Arctic, lies the polar vortex, a vast, spinning mass of frigid air that circles the pole in the stratosphere, far above the weather systems we experience on the ground. This powerful circulation acts as a kind of invisible barrier, keeping the coldest air bottled up over the Arctic and away from the continents below. Under normal circumstances, when the polar vortex is strong and stable, it acts like a fortress wall. The cold air remains trapped at the top of the world, and much of Europe enjoys relatively mild and predictable winter weather. The jet stream, that fast-moving river of air, flows smoothly around the vortex, keeping the chill at bay and allowing for calmer, less extreme conditions across the continent. But this year, something extraordinary has happened. The polar vortex has dramatically weakened and even collapsed, splitting into separate swirling centers. This rare event, known as a sudden stratospheric warming, has sent shock waves through the atmosphere. As the vortex breaks apart, it loses its grip on the cold air, allowing it to spill southward in massive waves. Europe, once shielded, now finds itself directly in the path of this unleashed Arctic chill. The transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process, as the disruption in the stratosphere slowly filters down to the weather systems we feel on the ground. The jet stream, once a steady boundary, becomes wavy and erratic, dipping far to the south and pulling frigid air along with it. This reshaping of the jet stream brings dramatic changes to Europe's weather, setting the stage for prolonged cold spells and increased storminess. Now, instead of one dominant vortex, we see two smaller displaced centers forming over Siberia and Canada. This leaves a void over the Arctic itself, which is quickly filled by warmer air from lower latitudes. The result is a dramatic reversal. The pole warms, while the continents to the south are plunged into deep winter. For Europe, this means a persistent and stubborn pattern of cold, snowy, and icy conditions. The altered jet stream locks the continent into a wintry regime that's difficult to escape. Cities and towns across Central and Eastern Europe brace for relentless snowfalls, icy winds, and temperatures well below average. The consequences are clear. A prolonged period of severe winter weather, with blizzards, travel disruptions, and daily life turned upside down. Streets become treacherous, and communities must adapt to the harsh new reality brought on by this stratospheric drama. As February unfolds, the stage is set for a month that will be remembered for its intensity and its impact. From snow-covered cityscapes to winter festivals in the heart of the chill, Europe is in for a truly memorable and challenging winter experience. The trigger for this extraordinary weather event is something called a sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW. This phenomenon occurs when temperatures in the stratosphere, high above the Arctic, suddenly spike by dozens of degrees within just a few days. It's a dramatic and rapid heating event that can send shockwaves through the entire atmosphere, setting off a chain reaction that ultimately affects weather patterns thousands of kilometers away. Scientists have been monitoring these events for decades, and while they're not common, when they do happen, the consequences can be far-reaching and severe. This sudden warming disrupts the polar vortex, a powerful band of winds that usually circles the Arctic and keeps the coldest air locked up near the pole. When the SSW hits, the polar vortex can weaken or even split apart, reversing its winds and allowing frigid Arctic air to escape. This cold air then spills southward, traveling over vast distances and reaching areas that are usually protected from such extreme chills. The disruption is so significant that it can completely reshape the jet stream, the high-altitude river of air that steers our weather systems. While we don't feel the stratospheric warming itself, what we do experience is the aftermath, the arrival of icy Arctic air. Suddenly, temperatures can plummet, and cities that were enjoying mild winter days find themselves plunged into deep freezes. People bundle up in heavy coats, their breath visible in the frosty air, as the cold settles in for days or even weeks. The impact is immediate and tangible, affecting everything from daily commutes to energy demand and even public health. One of the most striking effects is the formation of a blocking high-pressure system near Greenland or Scandinavia. This atmospheric roadblock diverts the usual flow of milder Atlantic air away from Europe, instead opening the door for relentless Siberian cold to sweep in. The weather maps light up with swirling patterns, showing how the normal west-to-east flow is interrupted, and cold air is funneled directly into the heart of the continent. Snow and ice become more widespread, and the landscape transforms into a winter wonderland, or for some, a winter nightmare. This very pattern has been responsible for some of Europe's most infamous cold spells in history. From the legendary winters that froze rivers and paralyzed cities, to more recent cold snaps that brought transportation to a standstill and strained power grids, the fingerprints of SSW events are clear. News reports from past decades show snow-blanketed capitals, icy roads, and communities rallying together to cope with the extreme conditions. These are the winters that become part of local lore, remembered for years to come. The current sudden stratospheric warming event is particularly strong, and meteorologists are warning that it could bring an extended period of below-average temperatures across much of Europe. Forecasts show persistent cold, with snow and ice likely to linger far longer than usual. Towns and cities are bracing for a prolonged winter, as the effects of this atmospheric upheaval ripple through the weeks ahead. For many, it means preparing for more snow days, higher heating bills, and the challenges that come with a stubbornly cold season. All of this serves as a powerful reminder that our weather is not just a local affair. It's shaped by vast, interconnected forces that span the globe. What happens high above the Arctic can set off a domino effect, influencing weather thousands of kilometers away. The atmosphere is a complex, dynamic system, and events like SSW show just how sensitive it can be to sudden changes. As Europe braces for a true taste of winter, it's a vivid illustration of how the planet's most powerful forces can shape our everyday lives. Whether you're watching snowfall outside your window or bundling up for a chilly walk, remember, It all started with a sudden invisible shift high above the Arctic. The polar vortex collapse is transforming Europe's weather map. A blocking high over Greenland is shutting out milder air, while a northeasterly flow brings Arctic cold. Northern and Eastern Europe are already in a deep freeze, with the cold spreading west and south. This isn't a brief chill. Expect entrenched cold, harsh frosts, and biting wind chills for weeks. Even regions like France, Spain, and the Mediterranean will feel the drop. The cold will strain energy grids, threaten agriculture, and disrupt travel. All of this is a direct result of the stratospheric drama above. With Arctic air flooding Europe, snow is the next big story. As cold air moves over warmer seas, it picks up moisture, creating intense snow showers along coasts and in the mountains. The Alps, Carpathians, and Scottish Highlands are set for heavy snowfall, transforming ski resorts and landscapes. Even away from mountains, snow is likely as low-pressure systems collide with cold air. Central Europe, especially Germany and Poland, could see major snowstorms and travel chaos. Scandinavia will deepen its snowpack, while winter sports fans rejoice. But for many, the snow will bring disruption and challenge. While the north freezes, southern Europe faces relentless rain and flood risk. Blocking patterns are steering moisture-laden storms into the Mediterranean, stalling them over Italy, the Balkans, and Greece. Saturated ground and swollen rivers mean high flood danger. As cold air pushes south, rain could quickly turn to heavy, wet snow, causing power outages and travel issues. The situation is dynamic. Southern Europe must watch for both floods and sudden snow. It's a complex, evolving threat across the region. None of this forecasting would be possible without weather satellites like MetOp. These polar orbiting satellites provide vital data on temperature, humidity, winds, and atmospheric structure. MetOp's advanced instruments help forecasters track events like sudden stratospheric warming in real time. The new MetOp second-generation satellites promise even sharper data, improving our ability to predict severe weather. Without these satellites, early warning signs of Arctic air surges could be missed. They are the silent heroes of meteorology, helping us prepare and respond. Their data is crucial for saving lives and minimizing disruption. Beyond daily forecasts, satellites like EarthCare are revolutionizing our understanding of climate. EarthCare provides 3D views of clouds, aerosols, and solar radiation, key factors in climate and weather. Its instruments reveal how clouds and particles interact, improving weather models and climate projections. Launched in 2024, EarthCare's data is already refining our predictions of storms and precipitation. As we face complex events like the polar vortex collapse, these insights are invaluable. EarthCare marks a leap forward in decoding our planet's atmosphere. As Europe settles into this wintry pattern, expect widespread travel disruption, energy strain, and risks to vulnerable groups. Check forecasts before traveling, insulate homes, and look out for neighbors. Southern Europe must stay alert for floods and the rapid switch to snow. The cold pattern is likely to persist well into March, delaying spring and affecting agriculture. Stay weather aware, follow official advice, and prepare for a sustained winter. The best defense is preparation and vigilance. Stay tuned for updates as this extraordinary winter unfolds.